Hello, boys and girls. My name is Inspirer Barron. Okay, I hope you're ready for this book. This story is called Meeting Trouble. Now, we all know a little something about trouble, don't we? Okay, now, Brer Rabbit knows anyone foolish enough to ask for trouble is sure to find it. Okay? All right, here we go. Now, Brer Alligator's back used to be smooth and white as catfish skin. When he sunned himself in the mud bank, he shined like a piece of silver. He was mighty proud of that hide. Truth be told, he was mighty pleased with himself in every way. He and his family lived at the edge of a rice field. They had plenty of fish to eat and never had to bother with any of the animals on the land, unless they fell into the water. They were very satisfied with themselves and thought that there wasn't anyone else quite as good as they were. Well, one hot day, Brer Gator was resting on the bank when along came Brer Rabbit. Now, Brer Rabbit had no love for Brer Gator, but he stopped all the same to pass the time of day with him because Brer Rabbit loved to talk. He'd talk to anyone, even one of those ridiculous animals who don't know any better than to live in the water. "Howdy, Brer Alligator," he said. "How's Sister Alligator?" And all the young alligators. At first, Brer Gator didn't even reply. It just seemed like he didn't care what any other animals thought about him, or how they were getting along with themselves. But after a while, he fixed his eye on Brer Rabbit and said, "They're getting on just fine. But it's no wonder that those children are smart and pretty and raised right, because they lived right here in the river. I swear to God, I can't see how you others get by living up on top of that dry, drafty land. And you and all the other animals down there fit to live in the water just seem to spend all your time fighting with each other until you must be worn out before the day is half finished." Brer Rabbit got real angry, and Brer Gator for being so superior in his manners, so he decided to tell him what he thought about that kind of talk. But you know, Brer Rabbit can hide himself when it's angry. He just stayed calm, and then sighed and shook his head and said, real mournful like, "Maybe so. We sure have been seeing a lot of trouble up here lately." "Who's that you're talking about, Brer Rabbit? Trouble?" Brer Rabbit thought Brer Gator must be joking. "What's that, Brer Gator? You never heard of trouble?" Brer Gator shook his head. "No, I never heard of him, and I've never seen him. What does it look like?" Brer Rabbit couldn't believe his ears. "Oh, for crying out loud. Brer Alligator, old as you are, and you've never seen trouble?" "I tell you, Brer Rabbit, I've never heard anything about this here trouble. What does trouble look like?" Brer Rabbit scratched his head. He figured that if Brer Gator is so stupid and so satisfied with himself and so ridiculously and unmannered about everything that lives on land, that this will be his chance to teach Brer Gator a lesson. "I don't know that I can tell you exactly what trouble looks like, but maybe you'd like to see him," he asked. "I could show him to you, Brer Gator, but I don't know that I want to. Maybe you won't like him." "What are you talking about? I just want to see him. If I don't like him, that won't matter all to me." "Well, I'm pretty busy right now," said Brer Rabbit. "Oh, come on, Brer Rabbit. After all, it's me, Brer Alligator, requesting this from you. Don't forget that." "But I have to fix my house up, and Sister Rabbit is not feeling well, and the children have to be washed, and all that can wait," said Brer Gator, and he coaxed and begged and pleaded until last Brer Rabbit agreed to show him trouble. "Meet me here as soon as the dew is dry on the grass next Saturday," said Brer Rabbit. "Trouble may have some time off on Sunday." On Saturday, Brer Gator got up before dawn and started making himself presentable. But Sister Alligator wanted to know where he was going. She wouldn't stop asking until he said where he was going out with Brer Rabbit to meet trouble. "Well, I'd like to meet trouble too," said Sister Alligator. Brer Gator said no, but Sister Alligator kept asking and asking until Brer Gator finally said, "Okay." Now, Sister Alligator got busy fixing herself up, and then all the little alligators woke up. They saw their Mammy and Pappy fixing themselves up to go out, and they started begging to go, too. Now, Brer Gator was fed up with so much fuss, so he said, "Well, all right, but fix yourself up nice and pretty, And be sure you mind your manners. Be sure you show Brer Rabbit how much better water children are than wood children. Then they ran to fix themselves up nice, and soon as they were all dressed up for going out, they had on their best with mud on their heads and marsh on their backs. And they didn't think they looked fine. And they all came out, crowding each other, going down on the rice field bank to wait for Brer Rabbit. They hadn't been there long before Brer Rabbit came along. He was surprised to see the whole family there and laughed to himself, but all he said was, "Howdy." And then he told them how nice the children looked, but all the time he was saying to himself, "Oh Lord, this is an ugly gang of people." Brer Gator didn't even apologize for bringing such a big crowd with him. All he said was, "They all begged me, so I had to give in and let them come." Brer Rabbit said, "There's plenty of room for everybody. I hope you will all enjoy yourselves." The children were so glad that Brer Rabbit didn't send them home that they danced around with joy. Woohoo! They all looked so funny that Brer Rabbit almost laughed in their faces, but instead he knit his eyebrows and looked at his watch and said, "Time to get going, I guess." Well, Brer Rabbit led them up through a patch of woods until he got off to a field overgrown with broom grass and briar. In the middle of the field, Brer Rabbit stopped. He cupped his ear and pretended he was listening for something. "Shh, shh," he told the children. After Brer Rabbit listened some more, he shouted out, "Who was that calling Brer Rabbit?" Then he pretended to hear something more, and he yelled back, "Yes, it's me. What do you want with me?" He cupped his hand to his ear again and then said, "I'm coming right now." He turned to Brer Gator and said, "I beg your pardon, but someone is calling me away a minute on business. Please wait right here. I'll be right back." Brer Rabbit ran along the path out of sight. At the edge of the woods, he stopped to chuckle, and then he got down to business. He smelled the wind and looked which way it was blowing. Then he pulled a handful of that long, dry broom grass and set it afire. Then he ran along the edge of the field with the fire and set a field ablaze all around. When he finished, he got up on a high stump where he could see real good and sat down and waited. All this time, the alligators were down in the middle of the field. They were tired because they had walked so far, and they were happy to rest a while. But Sister Alligator couldn't stop pestering Brer Gator with which and why talk. Which way will trouble be coming? Why did you make Brer Rabbit tell you more? How long do we have to wait? Brer Gator didn't answer. He just sat still and grunted once in a while. The fire burned and burned. At last, the wind caught up and it flared up and high, and the sparks and flames flew up in the sky. One little alligator saw that and looked and hollered out, "Look there!" And the rest of the little alligators looked toward where the brother had pointed, and they sang out, "Look there!" And one got a notion and he yelled out, "That must be trouble." And Sister Alligator turned and looked and said, "Look, Pa, do you think that's trouble?" Brer Gator was so ignorant, he didn't even know. He lived in the water and mud and had never seen fire. But he didn't feel easy in his mind. I guess maybe Brer Rabbit got lost or something. He said, then one of the children called out, "Trouble is pretty." And all of them began to sing, "Trouble is pretty, trouble is pretty." And Brer Gator said, "If that is trouble, he sure is pretty. The child speaks the truth." And he and his wife started staring at the fire, watching it come closer. And the children stared and kept quiet as if they were afraid and they might scare trouble away. At last, a hot spark landed right on one of the little alligator's back, and he screamed, "Oh, trouble hurts!" And then a spark landed on Sister Alligator, and she started to jump around and holler, "It's true, trouble hurts." Brer Rabbit, they all called. "We don't want to see trouble anymore." The sparks kept falling, and all the alligators were so confused, they didn't know what to do. And they hollered out again, "Brer Rabbit, where are you? Tell trouble to go away." But Brer Rabbit didn't come, and he didn't answer. The gators stopped calling him and got ready to get through the fire the best they could. Sister Alligator hollered, "Children, follow your pop." And right through the scorching fire they ran. They went past Brer Rabbit on the stump, but they didn't even see him. They were running so fast, and they looked so funny that Brer Rabbit almost fell off the stump. He was laughing so hard. "Brer Alligator," he shouted, "I guess you've seen trouble now. Get back in the water where you belong, and don't ever hunt trouble again." the gators didn't stop running until they got back to the rice field bank and jumped into the river. And they were still so hot from the fire when they went over the bank that when that water hit them, steam rose up like a cloud. They didn't come out again the whole day or the night. But when they got a chance to look at each other, they found that the fire had burned them so bad that their white skin was just as black as the crinkliest burned log of wood, and as rough as the bark on a live oak. And ever since then, alligators have a horny hide. The end.